All right, so do you guys remember ever playing video games back in the day at your friend's house and actually having fun with them and just hopping into a game, having no idea what's going on, maybe pulling out a Nintendo GameCube, popping in some Melee, and then you pick Jigglypuff and you press down plus B and you wonder why this move sucks so bad. And then you realize, oh, it's because it's not Kirby down plus B, and then you never pick Jigglypuff ever again. And then you just spam down plus B with Kirby instead and have a great time and go on with your life. Well, there's actually a select few group of people who did not go on with their life, and they figured out that no, this move down B with Jigglypuff does not just put her to sleep and let her get hit by the opponent. They actually figured out that if you space this move precisely on top of the opponent that you're playing against, they actually just freaking explode and die instantly. And thus, the Jigglypuff rest has been born. And that's because a bunch of nerds figured out how to actually use this move, and then the rest is history. Then Hungrybox becomes the #1 Melee player and rests everybody to death, and then we all kind of go back to looking like this because we're tired of getting rested and zoned out in Melee. Just kidding, I actually love watching that in Melee. It's one of my favorite things to see, because I don't have to play against it. I get to watch other people suffer. That said, what is the point here? My point here is sometimes moves in fighting games are not bad. You just don't know how to use them. And I see this all the time, especially since now I do YouTube, I do Twitch. I get to hear a lot of opinions from people who have very strongly formulated opinions about things that they might not have all the facts about in regards to fighting games. And recently I had a situation with this where I posted a clip of mine from a recent stream where I played against a Ken player using V-Trigger 2, and then something pretty interesting happened during that clip. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. I drop that. Are you kidding me? That just stuffed completely Ken's V-Trigger 2? So yeah, I was actually shocked. I had never before seen Ken's V-Trigger 2 be stuffed in that manner before. And, you know, it was kind of news to me that it wasn't that air invincible and can just be completely stuffed out by a well-timed jump in. But then I got to looking at the comments, and that's where everything went downhill. That's where all mistakes were made, because you don't look at the comments, but unfortunately, I do. And there were some interesting ones that got me thinking. Laughing Seal here says, it does not have anti-air invincibility, which is bonkers considering in old games it was usually used as an anti-air and reversal. Still don't even know why Ken players pick this trash over V-Trigger 1. More utility at arguably doing less damage and being 3 bars. Devs nerfed anti-airs in Street Fighter V so hard that shit like this happens. There's a few others. I've seen this before and it amazes me that V-Trigger 2 is so bad. Ken's V-Trigger 2 is trash. More at 11. So yeah, there was a few comments here that started to explain the situation and you know, kind of maybe point out how people are missing the bigger picture here. But initially, all the comments were just saying, oh, Ken's V-Trigger 2 is bad because it lost to a jump in. However, that's not really the case here. Yes, V-Trigger 2 doesn't work as an anti-air in that situation. And what I realized after the fact is that the reason I had not seen it used as an anti-air like that is because generally Ken players know to not use it as an anti-air. That Ken player, I don't know why he did that, but most strong Ken players don't use it as the anti-air. There's other anti-airs that they can use, like a Shoryuken, a very reliable, fully invincible to airstrike attacks anti-air that, you know, gets the job done. So this got me thinking, is Ken V-Trigger 2 bad? So we can go ahead and show different properties about it and maybe kind of set the record straight on that and show how people might not have the full view about a certain tool when they are already deeming it to be trash. I actually had to take Ken to the lab for this. So, you know, it means a lot to me. So Ken V-Trigger 2, it's this weird move that has an activation animation where it does an attack, and then you have it active for the rest of the round or until you use all the usages. So you can either immediately burn it all by mashing. There's multiple layers. If you use one activation, you have multiple left. So you can walk around and hit confirm into it. So basically, once you pop, and you'll pop in a way where you actually hit the opponent and make it safe, you become a hit confirm monster at this point. Any random blow forward, you just gotta press low forward, see that it hits, and then press V trigger. It'll hit confirm very late and give you a combo after also. So that's the other thing that, you know, you can combo after this. It makes it so that when playing the footsies game, Ken is much scarier now. Normally, all he would get is maybe low forward into DP or low forward EX Tatsu if they have the confirms and they're in the right spacing. But this is like all reliable. It's like any random button that gets clipped by this can lead into big damage. I mean, big damage. If I do the combo right, you can even go into super with this. Right? So it gives Ken something that he can hit confirm into potentially half health. And that's what makes it so strong. On top of that, it also has some unique properties. So I have Oro here throwing a fireball at round start. It just vacuums it from... Look, this is almost full screen away. Round start distance. And you can do it late, you can do it early. It just sucks him in. And for a character like Oro and many other characters, the fireball is an integral part of the game. So basically, if he pops, once he does this, it's the knockdown. Now you can't throw fireballs, and the footsie game is extremely deadly. Like, you might just die if you don't drop the combo. You might just die at any moment. So he controls the neutral entirely and prevents you from using some of your tools. So it has tons of utility and tons of potential damage output as well. And yes, you might be right about the one situation. You might be right that this is not a good anti-air. So here I have Oro kind of doing the similar setup that I did in that clip. So yeah, if I do V-Trigger 2 here, it gets stuffed clean. You're not wrong about that. Does that make it trash? Well, I don't know. It makes it not an anti-air, but I would argue that it's inconsequential. Just DP. He already has a tool to deal with that, you know? Ken's DP beats everything, man. Just DP. And you can still cancel into the V-Trigger 2 to get extended damage. So if you just regular anti-air, you know, you get your 130 plus Oki. But if you want to, you know, cash out hard, you know, you can do, this is like the baby combo. You get an extra bit of damage, so you can close out rounds with more damage and convert that into super as well. So it makes his anti-airs have more damage also. So yeah, it's not the anti-air itself. It's an extension tool to make the risk reward on his already existing options much stronger and helps him control neutral and prevents the opponent from using fireballs. On top of that, it's actually a whiff punish tool. You can just suck in normals from almost round start distance. All right, I'm making a horrible case for myself, aren't I? For certain normals, you can literally raw react to neutral and get 549 damage on a whiff punish from distances where normally other tools won't reach, or he won't have an option to even reach there and do mad damage. Mad damage. So it gives him damage, it gives him more utility, it helps him prevent the opponent from throwing fireballs, and basically, it's a very strong V-Trigger, I think. I think it's the right V-Trigger to use in a lot of matches. Now, it was previously kind of trash. They extended the number of usages, and I think they improved the damage or juggle property. So upon release, I understand why there was a stigma that it was bad, but it's been buffed since then to be pretty good, and I think the right V-Trigger choice, especially against Oro. Like, when I'm playing Oro, I'm relieved when they're picking V-Trigger 1 over V-Trigger 2. I get to play the game when they have V-Trigger 1. They pick V-Trigger 2, it's not good for me. So it's actually pretty good in a lot of situations. And if that is not proof enough for the fact that this is actually not a trash V-Trigger, we can just go ahead and look at the tournament footage.
Chris can find a V-skill. It'll give him enough to get trigger. There, oh, he got hit instead, even better.
I mean, he does have the trigger now, so the activation, this can lead to so much damage. There it is! That is so huge!
He can do super off FEDP here.
Yes, it's gonna be so serious! It's gonna be so close, but I think you're right!
There's so little scaling, it was raw.
Yeah, incredible damage! Chris T!
Shin Ryukin, what game we playing? West Coast pops off.
So clean.
He whiffed punished a crouching medium kick from about half screen distance into nearly 50% damage. His low forward might have worked. It probably would have whiffed actually. Light kick to EX Tatsu might have worked, but there was no other option he could have pulled out here besides doing the raw V Trigger 2 activation to get the whiff punish at a distance where most other tools are not reliable, and then doing a million damage on top of it. So yeah, this V-Trigger is deadly at the highest level. It really, really is. I mean, poor Shine here had to get V-Trigger 2'd and get his whole tournament life ripped out of his hands. The worst part about this is if you go back in the VODs, actually, I noticed this when watching this originally, Shine was about to win. Look how close Shine was to winning 2-0. Shine was, at this point, up a game and a round and was about to win 2-0. And then Chris T brought it all the way back. And then on top of it, he ended it in the final round with a 500 damage whiff punish with V-Trigger 2. So yeah, if you want to put a stamp on it, that's a good way to do it. So yeah, I think I'm making my argument pretty clear. Just because Ken's V-Trigger 2 is bad as an anti-air, it doesn't mean that it's a bad move or a bad V-Trigger. It has plenty of other uses. I think that's too common that I see in fighting games, is that people write techniques or moves off too quickly before fully realizing the potential and not really understanding the situations in which a move could be used or how it might change the way the neutral game is played. So yeah, just be careful when you write off moves. You might overlook something early on. I know I've done that in the past. There's certain moves like with Oro, like forward medium kick, for example. I still kind of think it's trash, but I see other Oros having interesting uses for it. So I try to copy that and try to learn from that. So I think it's really important to keep an open mind with moves and not just declare them to be good or bad. Maybe just, you can say situational. Situational is usually the better way to frame something mentally, because that way you try to think of situations where it's applicable rather than just saying it's bad. Because the black and white thinking can tend to leave you stagnant in your own play and your own thinking and approach to the game, and prevent you from being creative and using every tool to its max potential. So that's about it. I mean, that's all I have here. Ken's V-Trigger 2, not trash. Maybe fully understand a move before you declare it trash. Until then, just say the magic word situational. That's what I think. And that's all I have for today. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.